Pathmonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmark to your website in seconds, letting the artificial intelligence do all the work, and increase conversions by 50% while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmark.com. Welcome to today's episode of Pathmark Presents. Today, we are joined by Lawrence Martineau. He's the Director of Business Development at Fischer Forward Consulting. Lawrence, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rick.
Of course. So it's good to have you here. And why don't we just get into it, Lawrence? I want to talk about Fischer Forward Consulting a little bit. And if you could tell us a little bit about, what you're all about, how would you describe your company to someone new?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Fischer Forward Consulting, there's really three words that kind of summarize what we do, which is strategy, encouragement, and consistency. Myself and Christian Fischer, who's the owner of the company, we came out of the culinary world. I mean, we were born in the high pressure systems of running commercial kitchens. And between both of us, we have over 50 years of culinary experience. Now, what does that mean in the business world? Well, there's a lot of transferable skills that chefs bring out of the kitchen that could be used in the business world. And one of the things that we do is we work with food companies, beverage companies, food tech, companies that really want to disrupt the food industry or the beverage industry. And we use our mindset that we created as chefs in the way that we approach business. So we're very communicative. We're very strategic in our planning. We're very encouraging. Also, we take a mentorship type approach with our clients. So that's what kind of differentiates from other consulting companies, is that we don't look at ourselves as a vendor. We look at ourselves as a partner in our client's business, and we share the success when they succeed as well.
That's very good, especially considering that you have so much, such an extensive experience in the culinary industry. For you to be able to mentor, these I'm assuming founders and the companies that come to you essentially for help, right? Just offline, we were talking about your past in the culinary world, and was it a sauce boss?
Yeah.
Lawrence, was that your nickname? Yeah.
That was my nickname in the kitchen, yes.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, if anything, is there a core problem that you help these companies solve? And more generally speaking, what can they expect when they come to you for help?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it really, how we approach things kind of stems from what a chef's mindset is, which is you're only as good as the last plate of food that you just served. And so we kind of take that and communicate that to our clients, mentioning that you're only as good as the last communication that you just had with your last customer. So that means the way that you communicate with your customer through either a phone call or a chat bot or through an email, you're only as good as how well that communication went. So we really take that approach and we create the different systems and processes so that you can consistently provide that high valued experience, just like a chef would create the processes and systems in the kitchen to provide a consistent high valued plate of food. We take that same sort of mentality and we apply it with our clients. And the other thing, part of your question, what kind of client expect by working with us, is that we're very open with our communication. We're very friendly. We're very easygoing. We're great listeners. And that is what part of being a chef is. Running a kitchen is that you constantly have to listen to your team so that you can overcome all the unexpected challenges that you just don't foresee when you're doing food service. And that's the type of approach that our clients enjoy. And that's why they come back to us and say, you guys are very encouraging, because we just don't present a plan and say, here, execute on it. We execute along with them. And then we're training their staff and then also providing the encouragement that they can do this implementation, that this will yield the results that you want if we just work together and we follow these steps.
Okay.
I hope
Yeah,
that answers
great
your
point.
question.
Yeah, it does actually. And I like the point about communication, right? It's such a crucial skill in life in general, but to be able to, teach it to your clients and to your clients' staff also, I think it's very important, right? Just to stay on the topic of communication,
Mhm.
um, what do you think the role of your website as a consulting company is when it comes to attracting new clients? Do you feel, is doing a, let's say it has any standout strength when it comes to attracting clients, maybe areas that could be improved?
There's definitely always areas to improve. I mean that's one of the things I'm interested in about your service. I mean, just helping to increase the conversion rate. But I think one of the strengths is promoting the person behind the company, which is Christian Fischer. He has a very impressive culinary background. He had 3 restaurants that Nestle bought out when he was only 23 years old, and for 18 years he was Nestle's worldwide high-end consultant that worked with the military, worked with hospitals, helping develop their food service programs. And because of his natural approach and his respect that he has in the culinary world, that's the main strength behind the company is his outlook on how to approach his clients. And that's why, again, he is known for those 3 words, being very strategic, very
Hmm.
encouraging, and he provides that consistent value that you just can't find from other types of consultants. And that's what we try and do with our website, is to communicate the message that we're born from the high pressure kitchen, but we take those skills and we apply it to the business world, and that's why we're successful in what we do.
Right. Okay. And it sounds like, the brand behind it, thanks to Christian, right? That's also helping a little bit in terms of credibility, obviously, the experience that he has and both of you guys have in the industry, and the messaging potentially, right? Now I'm just assuming, but from what you say, that's what I gather, right? So those are really important components to have on a website for it to be able to convert properly. So I'm glad to hear that you guys got that down, right?
Well, I
But
think one thing is, oh, I'm sorry, Rick, go ahead.
no, please go ahead.
I think the one thing that we really want to communicate, and we can always do a better job, is that we want our clients to feel like, again, there's this open communication and dialogue. I mean, for an example, a lot of consulting sites give you like a complimentary 15 to 30-minute phone call, or Zoom call to kind of get to know
Mhm.
each other. I can't count how many times where we've done that, and that 30 minutes turns into an hour and a half. And then in the end, Christian and I may tell the person, you know what, you're just not ready for us right now. The money that you would have invested with us, why don't you invest in these other areas and then come back to us in 6 months and see what we can do to help you? And that's the type of approach that we take, is that we're not really looking to, I mean, we ultimately all want to make money, right? But that's
Mhm.
not, when we go out and do sales, it's like, who is it out there that we can have a really genuine, productive conversation with, so that in the end, either we both agree that we're going to do business with each other, or we agree that we need to separate, and then the client needs to go do something else and then come back to us. It's more about having a very strong dialogue than it is about anything else. And that's what we try and do with our website and all of our marketing, is to line up those conversations so
Mhm.
that we can then get to really know each other. And then the client can understand how we work, which is a very personal relationship, and that we really genuinely do care because we grew our own businesses. The processes that it takes to effectively attract and retain customers. I mean, we're very empathetic to that process. We respect the process, and we want clients to really understand that we don't take advantage of that we're here to only make that process more efficient and less stressful.
Right. Well, I like the fact that, you said we might spend more time with a person, with potential, let's say a prospect,
Mhm.
and doesn't work out in a sense that it's not immediate, but in the long term, you help this person, you've given them the knowledge and potentially the tools to go and get to the point where they can work with you, And I'm sure that creates a, first of all, for reputation, that's great, I think. And also being, in terms of longevity, really just thinking, okay, this person is more likely to come back to me in 6 months' time when, if and when they apply my advice. So yeah, I think it's smart, to be honest. Um, but yeah, I'm curious. I want to switch gears a little bit, Lawrence. I want to know, what's your day to day like? What are you? How many hats do you wear? Because obviously, you have these calls with as a director of business development. Sales will be a big part of what you do. But yeah, just in general, if you could give us, just a glimpse of what your day to day is like, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm up by 6 a.m. I go through my goals for the day and then I journal about what I want to accomplish. And then by 7 a.m., I'm either on Zoom calls with our partner back there in Italy, where you're at. I'm also part of different business mastermind groups that I'll go to some different live events. It's an opportunity for me to learn from other business owners, but also to, you know, introduce who I am and what we represent as Fischer Forward Consulting. And then it's not just prospecting, it's working with our digital marketing team on going over marketing strategies, going over the websites. I'm involved in creating the workflows for our email drip systems for prospecting. We use Go High Level as our backend system, so I'm creating the different automations as well. Then we're doing podcasts as well. We have a whole podcast called The Disruptive Chef. So we're lining up guests to be a part of the podcast. And we also
Nice.
have our own business mastermind group that we also kind of mentor. So it's a lot of different things to kind of get yourself out there and just you know what? I'm going to sum it up in one word, how my day is. It's fun. It's fun.
Okay.
It's doing everything that I love to do. And then by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm in the kitchen cooking dinner for my family. So it's awesome.
That is awesome. That sounds awesome. And look, I really, really appreciate that you just combine it. It's just one word, right? It's like a recipe, right? You put together many different things that you do, right? But then at the end of the day, you got one output, and that's a fun day, right? So that's great. That's great. Um, so we're coming towards the end of our interview, Lawrence. I just want to jump into our let to keep things fun, right? We have a rapid fire question segment, and so that there's an unwritten rule that for a short and concise question, we want a short and concise answer to the best of your ability. And if you want to expand, I won't hold you to it. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
All right. What's the last book you've read?
So I knew you were going to ask me that. And I have it right here in front of me. I don't know if you can, actually, you probably can't see it. It's called The Wilderness, The Gateway to the Soul. I like reading a
Okay.
lot of different books about nature, backpacking, because in the end, nature will teach you everything that you need to know how to work with people. And that's where my life lessons come from, is the lessons of thriving and how nature thrives in its own ecosystems.
All right. That's going into my reading list, that's for sure. I like it. I like the sound of
It's
it.
Scott Stillman as the author.
All right. Thank you very
All right.
much. Um, okay. What's one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
The one thing that we're focused on is partnering with companies who are looking to really disrupt the culinary industry, either through food tech, also plant-based items. One of our clients is called Beanstalk. They're making a big inroads in the vegan space. So those are the two primary markets that we're looking to make an impact in.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe this one is connected in a way, right? So if there are no boundaries in technology, what's one thing that you want fixed for your role as a director of business development today?
One thing I would like is an AI doesn't even have to necessarily be AI, but some sort of a tech where it takes into consideration all the different platforms that you're using to create your campaigns. And then it can seamlessly integrate all the workflows into those campaigns so that they're sharing a lot of the same content, and there's not a lot of, I found that there's some duplications, or there's some repetitiveness with different workflows. And I like to just be able to say, here are my channels. This is how I need the workflows to work. And bam, it's just created for you within seconds.
Okay.
With suggestions of content to distribute through those channels as well.
I mean, if anyone's working on something like that, I'm sure they'll reach out, and please do reach out to me as well, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be so amazing.
Indeed. What's one piece of advice you would give yourself if you could restart your journey as a salesperson, essentially, today?
One piece of advice. Well, in the beginning of my sales journey, it was all about, it was a numbers game, trying to really get through as many people to at least pay attention to what you had to say. And it wasn't necessarily me paying attention to what they had to say. So my advice is, in the very beginning, I would have taken more of a consultative approach with an empathetic ear to really truly understand where that person is in their life, and then try and match up the product or the service that you have to help move them forward from where they're at and where they want to go with their own life. I think personal goals sometimes speak louder than what they have as their business goals. And if you can show how your product or service can help them move forward in their personal advancement, sometimes that has more value than what it can do to help them with their business goals.
Right. So the connection with the person is, as opposed to, what the business they work for or whatever it may be, and understanding their personal goals will actually get you farther. This is my interpretation of it. Okay. Yeah,
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
You seem
It's very
like that
good.
type of guy too, Rick.
I like to listen, I like
Yeah.
to listen, that's for sure. Um, well, Lawrence, I really appreciate you for being on the show with us today. And I also want to give you the last word. So if someone forgets everything about the interview today, what's one thing that they should remember about the work you're doing and the impact you're making?
Yeah, I mean, just basically in my Zoom background there, right there, Fischer for consulting strategies that provide encouraging growth. That pretty much sums up what we do. We create the strategies that provide encouragement, not just the growth, but the growth of the people who are actually implementing the strategies, because that's the most important thing, is bringing that human element forward. And again, that's because of us being chefs. And that's one thing why we created successful restaurants, because you're encouraging the growth of the people who are around you.
Amazing. So if anyone wants to check you guys out and maybe, book a consultation or get in touch, how can they do that?
You can go to fisherforwardconsulting.com. You can just search us into Google. And also, I don't know if my email will be at the end of the, on this podcast or whatever in the comments or anything, but they can also reach me at they can call me at lawrencejmartineau@gmail.com. It's just an easier one to remember than my business one. And then I can then forward it. Then I can get the information they want from there.
All right, awesome. Well, we'll include it if you want us to.
Okay, yeah.
That's no worries at all.
Okay.
All right, amazing. So, Lawrence, thanks again for the opportunity to speak with you, and we hope to see you again soon during the year.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate your time.
Of course. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye, everyone.